Look, I know picks can't play, but I still just think it's easy to say that the Broncos or the Seahawks could have gotten more for Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson only had one team you wanted to go to. And it's not like Seattle turned down more from somewhere else. So, again, I'll die on that hill that they made the best of a bad situation. They were destined for the divorce for years now. And with that, we welcome in Ryan Harris, Notre Dame radio analyst, kind enough to join us on his 37th birthday. Thank you for spending some time with us, my man. We appreciate it.
Cool. Of course.
And we want to start in Denver with you, man. Happy birthday. We want to start in Denver with you because you won a Super Bowl in 2015 protecting Peyton Manning. And now at long last, the Broncos have found a quarterback that they haven't had since Peyton Manning was putting up record numbers in Denver. And you guys won the Super Bowl on the backs of that defense in 2015. So having said all of that, man, just like you see your Broncos helmet behind you, how over the moon are you that Russell Wilson is playing for your Broncos?
It's amazing that, Russell Wilson got traded to the Broncos. Literally, we got to break the news during our my radio show here in Denver, and cars are honking in the streets. We're 12 floors up, and you could just hear cars honking for an hour, just so excited. And, the same way Pittsburgh needs a tough defense to win a championship, right? Or you need great receivers at a place like Philadelphia. The Denver Broncos country fans, they really believe you need a dynamic franchise quarterback. That's part of the ethos in the same way the defense is for the Steelers. So this is a big piece for the fan base to believe, a fan base that was consistently leaving 10,000 empty seats towards the end of last season in the stadium. This has reinvigorated the entire franchise in just a matter of moments. And a franchise that really, people aren't talking about it, were devastated that it wasn't Aaron Rodgers at first, and then elated about Russell Wilson. And the fact that Russell wants to be here, those are some big things that made a huge difference here in Denver the last few days.
Now, Ryan, I've probably gone too far. I've said that the Broncos are now the favorite in the AFC West. I haven't said they're conference favorites, but divisional favorites. What do they need to do? What do they need to continue to do to make me right on that? They got the franchise quarterback. We know they got some good receivers and good backs. What is this team missing that it needs to address?
2 middle linebackers. That's what they need. They need 2 middle linebackers and a defensive end in the pass rush. And that's the brilliance of George Paton. You do this deal, and you still have a second-round pick. You still have 2 fourth-round picks, have a third-round pick. So you have some picks to get some quality players, and you still need to build. But also, one of the things we all know from covering the sport, and I know from playing it, when you get a dynamic quarterback like Russell Wilson, well, now free agency gets a little cheaper, right? Is a middle linebacker in free agency going to take $2 million per year less to play with Russell Wilson? That's going to be big. And the other thing is just to believe in what you don't know. And I mean that because you have the Chiefs who've been to the Super Bowl. You have a relatively young roster, especially offensively for the Denver Broncos with Jerry Jeudy and others. They don't know what they don't know. Ride with that. Don't try and be the Chiefs. Don't try and be the Chargers. Be where you are, believe in your success, and that way you can overcome and beat a Kansas City once or twice in a season and let Russell Wilson lead the way. So they get a couple linebackers, they get a defensive end, and they just keep believing in what they're able to do. I think you're going to be right for a while here, Michael.
Well, there's also a certain former Seattle linebacker that Michael Holley already said would look good in a Denver uniform following the Pied Piper that is Russell Westbrook. So, maybe Bobby Wagner could be in Denver's future. I know. I said Westbrook.
I said that like 5 times.
Michael does it. But I had been doing well. I had been doing. I don't think I did it all week. I think because I was like focused. I was focused to not do it. Wilson. Having said all of that, between going to the NBA, between Nikola Jokic, the Broncos, I mean, it's just like, I'm sure it's great days on Masters of the Midday, your Denver Sports Talk radio shows. Great days for callers there. But before we let you go, man, I want to kind of speed it up if we could, because Notre Dame's schedule allowed for you to see not just Notre Dame prospects, but a lot of the top prospects in the draft. So coming off the combine, would love to kind of power through as many of these prospects as possible. Let's start at the top, where 2 mock drafts I've seen the last couple of days, I think from The Ringer and Sports Illustrated, have your man Kyle Hamilton going second to Detroit. Now he didn't, the best 40 time at the combine, but the second overall pick, does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. And honestly, he could be undervalued at the second pick overall. 2 years ago, I was talking to an NFL scout before a game. I said, hey, we got this safety here. He's probably going to be a top 10 pick. The scout laughed at me, said, you're insane, Ryan. Came back last year and said, Ryan, you lied to me last year. I said, what? He said, he's going to be a top 5 pick. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, sideline to sideline speed, unbelievable. I don't care what his 40 time is. Put on the tape. He is somebody who can cover the field, made a pick this year, literally on the left hash and caught the ball all the way on the right sideline while the ball was in the air, covered all that ground. He hit 3 of the best players from different teams out of games. They hit the number 1 receiver for Purdue. He hit him out of the game. Legal hit, too. So you're telling me you got a fast safety that has a nose for the football, who knows how to make legal hits that put players out of the game? What more do you want from a second-round pick? Come on, man. You know how Notre Dame guys do, fellas.
Hey, well, listen.
Also,
well, you
go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, because I was going to the next player. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I was too, because Notre Dame played Cincinnati, and Cincinnati won. That kind of vaulted Cincinnati to national prominence, got them in the college football playoff, and they have some prospects. I keep hearing about Sauce Gardner and how great he looks, and then Desmond Ridder in a light quarterback class. So when you look at Cincinnati's prospects, how do you see them projecting at the next level?
I really like Desmond Ridder as one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. Hey, listen, Malik Willis has an arm. He's got some athletic ability, but I saw firsthand Desmond Ridder really controls the game. And one of the things that happens in college is these quarterbacks, we'll all see it. They'll look to the sideline and then look back. Well, that's the coach telling them to play, right? You can't do that in the NFL. And one of the things I saw when Notre Dame played Cincinnati is Desmond Ridder's in the biggest game of his life and is still changing plays, making audibles, giving signals, something that you never see in college football. Pro Football Focus also said he's in the 69th percentile in wins above replacement for all of the rookie quarterbacks coming in. That's the highest that they gave. So I really like Desmond Ridder. And Sauce Gardner, he lives up to the nickname. He will cover you like some sauce on some ribs. He is fantastic.
Oh,
he wants the one-on-one matchup, and that's somebody who's going to be playing in the NFL for a very long time.
Okay, with the time we got left, we're gonna go quick here. Just give me one sentence or so on these next 3 prospects that you saw when Notre Dame faced them this year. So you got a chance to see them up close. Jermaine Johnson II, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, defensive end out of Florida State.
A monster. You got to wonder what made him transfer to get to Florida State.
Georgia,
but an absolute monster, huge body, can stop in the runner and can get after the pass rush. I like him a lot. Speaking
of huge, big body Drake London. I think he caught 15 passes against Notre Dame. The USC wide receiver. I've seen it in the top 10, right around the same range as Johnson that we just talked about.
He had 15 catches against Notre Dame, who had Kyle Hamilton and did everything they could to stop him. London is unbelievable. If he gets to your team or whatever team he goes to, get him in fantasy football right now. He reminded me more than any player of Megatron, and I'm not joking. This guy is unbelievable. Wow. Yes.
Okay. Ooh. All right.
And that's hard for me to say about a USC guy, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know me, man.
All right, well, speaking of rivalries, Purdue, George Karlaftis, defensive end out of Purdue.
I think he's a good player. I believe that there are better defensive ends there, and that's a player who will probably have a 7 to 10 year career. If I'm a GM, I wouldn't put a first-round pick on him, but I do think he's a dynamic player and will be in the NFL for a very long time, provided he stays healthy.
All right, I'm going to sneak one more in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking one more real quick, Mike. We've seen him at 32. It's not a great year for quarterbacks. Sam Howell in North Carolina, who you also saw. That was the last guy I wanted to ask you about.
I love the arm. I love the moxie, and that stuff goes right out the window when you got a guy like Bobby Wagner throwing his shoulder through your chest, right? So I think Sam Howell's height's a concern for me. It's gonna be tough to see downfield, and him running around like he did at North Carolina, he's gonna get very, very hurt very quickly in the NFL. I wouldn't get him in the first, but any of these quarterbacks I think are great value picks in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Mike,
let's go back to where we started. We started with Kyle Hamilton, and you said all the great things about him. I'm curious. He played in the NFL for a long time, Ryan. Does he remind you of anybody either who was in a league with you or in a league right now before you? Give me Kyle Hamilton. Give me a comparison.
I'll say no, and that's the best compliment I can give. The first time I saw Kyle Hamilton in person, I was standing by the elevator in a team hotel, and the light went out to my side, and I was like, that's strange. Well, I turned, and it was Kyle Hamilton standing next to me, blocking the light. There is nobody as physically dominating and imposing. There's nobody with that speed. He still doesn't know how fast he will be. I've never seen a 6'5", 6'6" safety who can cover like a receiver and who wants to hit. Those are some very big intangibles that you can't coach. He's the total package, and Detroit would be wise at 2 to get him. And if the Jaguars don't take the best lineman, Ike Ekwonu at number 1, fire everybody in the front office. That man's a monster.
All right. Spoken like a true lineman. True lineman.
And it takes a special person to bear the gift of knowledge and give it to us on his birthday. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. Happy 37th
Happy birthday.
Take it easy.
Y'all the best, man. Thank you so much. Go Irish.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.